such a time as this.
And welcome back to For Such a Time as This, the place where there is no such thing as a silent witness. I'm your host, Pastor James Pittman of New Hope Community Church in Palatine, Illinois. I'm going to play a clip of Joe Biden, and I want to be careful how I position this video. I am not necessarily making fun of Joe Biden. My criticism is mainly at those who are voting for him. The Democrat Party is about to nominate someone who, let's be kind, has a loose grip on reality. Let's play the clip, and then I'll give my analysis.
Why? You're getting nervous, man.
And Corn Pop was a bad dude. And he ran a bunch of bad boys.
I'm not sedentary. I get up and no, let him go. Let him go. Look, the reason I'm running is because I've been around a long time and I know more than most people know. And I can get things done. That's why I'm running. And you want to check my shape on, let's do push-ups together here, man. Let's run. Let's do whatever you want to do. Let's take the 19 steps.
You ever been to a caucus? No, you haven't. You're a lying dog-faced pony soldier. You said you were.
Make sure make sure you have the record player on at night, the phone.
And so he was up on the board, wouldn't listen to me. I said, hey, Esther, you, off the board, or I'll come up and drag you off.
We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women created by you know the thing. Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids.
I'm beginning to see why your wife left you. And he cut off a 6-foot length of chain. He folded up. He said, you walk out with that chain. And you walk to the car and say, you may cut me, man, but I'm going to wrap this chain around your head.
If you agree with me, go to Joe 30330 and help me in this fight. Thank you very much.
I have worked with patients who struggle with dementia. I have close family members who have dementia. I've seen a lot of dementia. I've seen a lot of it. I do think at some level what's being done to Joe Biden, not for Joe Biden, to Joe Biden is cruel. And here's my angle on this. In a representative republic, the United States of America is not a democracy. It is a representative republic. In a representative republic or a democracy, whenever you have to vote for your leaders become the reflection of the populace. Leaders become the representative of the culture. And so if a large segment of the Democratic Party is voting for going to nominate someone who has a loose, we're being kind here, a loose grip on reality, what does that say for the culture, the populace, the people? If your leader doesn't have a firm grip on truth and reality, and you vote for someone who doesn't have a firm grip on truth and reality, what does that say about the culture? I think all of this is spiritual in nature. I think God is revealing the sins of our country, which brought me to Psalms 2:1. Why do the nations rage and the peoples plot in vain? The kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord and against his anointed, saying, let us burst their bonds apart and cast away their cords from us. He who sits in the heavens laughs, and the Lord holds them in derision. Here's my angle on all of this. When you now live in a culture, being here in the United States of America, we live in a culture where truth and reality is not a big deal. It's not a priority. We live in a culture where we don't know the difference, supposedly, between boys and girls. We play along with people, part of the culture that is confused and deluded. Male plumbing, yet a female, female plumbing, yet a male. Truth and reality, we have willingly kicked it out. We willingly embrace that which we know is not true, that which is not real. I think the populace as a whole is walking around with a loose grip on reality, and the large populace that has a loose grip on reality is now going to confirm their delusions by nominating a man for president who clearly has a loose grip on reality. And we can argue all you want. I can tell you one thing about people who have early stages of dementia. They get their time frames are very mixed up. And so a very close family member thinks what happened in the 1960s happened yesterday. They lose that space of time. They lose it. And when Joe Biden sit up here and says, put the record player on, put the record player on, he forgets things. He can't remember. And then if you know that population, they get frustrated because they're forgetting, they get angry. And he's starting to get angry. What wasn't on the clip is him getting angry at the steelworker in Detroit and cursing him out. He's starting to get angry because he's forgetting, and I can only imagine the frustration it is when you start to lose your grip on reality. I do feel for Joe Biden, but what's being done to Joe Biden is cruel. The man should not be running for president. He should be at home enjoying the final days of his life. I hope he has many. Enjoying his family. But being put on a stage to where his demise is going to be witnessed for the world to see, it is downright cruel. But this is what happens when you have a culture, society, a country who has collectively lost our grip on reality.
For such a time as this,